So find your comfortable seat. Oh, I'm going to sort my camera out. Try again. That's better. Reverse back into sitting. And think about that spine of yours. So stacking up, growing tall, lifting the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And let's just take some nice deep breaths. So close your eyes. And breathe however you feel like breathing, whether that's in through your nose, out through your mouth, or in through your nose and out through your nose. Notice I haven't given the option of breathing in through your mouth. And slow everything down. Soften the shoulders. Notice where your head is. And see if you can move your head so that you feel that your weight is dropping down through your spine. And then you can be at your most relaxed. You're not holding your head up. You're not holding it forward. You're just letting the weight drop down. At the same time, you're lifting up through the crown of your head. There's lovely, soft, steady, deep, slow breaths. Notice how you're feeling today. And see if you can, through this practice, catch yourself when your mind wanders off and starts to engage with things off the mat. Gently bring it back to the mat, to yourself. And notice when you're talking to yourself, and see if you can notice the tone, and if it's not encouraging and loving and kind and accepting and contented, try and bring the voice towards those things. Why not? You're a walking miracle. And you brought yourself to practice because you care deeply about your well-being and your health, your happiness. So turn that internal voice to amplify all of those wonderful things. Start to make the breath a little more exaggerated. So moving your ribs, moving through the side body, noticing the breath in the back. Lifting your shoulders on the in-breath and then dropping them slowly down on the out-breath. So exaggerating the movement, bringing the shoulders up to the ears with the in-breath and then sliding them down. Feeling your ribcage contracting and shrinking and becoming tiny and then expanding fully. Maybe even taking your elbows slightly out to the sides as you breathe in, as if you need more space with those ribs, and then tucking them back gently and softly in towards your sides as you breathe out. You'll notice here that your head rises, the crown of your head moving up towards the ceiling a little closer, and then comes back down as you exhale and collapse everything down, squeezing every little last breath out. Last round. Hopefully that got rid of some of the cobwebs. Take your chin into your chest. And bring yourself into a little bit of a forward lean as well. So tiny fold forward, chin to chest. Taking that stretch all the way down your spine. And feeling it slightly in the lower back and the hips as you fold forward. Tucking your chin quite sharply in. I'm trying to poke your chest with your chin. And release. Coming back up to center. We're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder first. So we're just slowly dropping the head to the side. Get to where you get to naturally without it being too much effort. And just notice that your head is heavy. Try and relax that right shoulder, the right elbow, the right hand, and the whole of the left arm and the left hand as well. So we're still keeping that sternum up, not curling in the back. Just stretching out the threads of the muscles of your neck on the left side. Noticing any sensations in the right. And then slowly bringing yourself back to center, nice and slow, really gentle with the neck, and over to the other side. And here you are on the other side. So relax that right shoulder, relax the right side of your rib cage. Just try and notice if your shoulders are level or if they feel level. And then intensify that stretch a little bit by just dropping that left ear down to the left shoulder just a tiny bit more. Settle into that stretch by taking a nice deep, slow breath. And then we can come back up to center. So staying level here, let's think about the sternum. Let's think about getting some length in the front of the body. So lift the sternum, and hopefully you'll get a little lift in the sides as well. Some length there, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And then with that lovely tall posture, I'm going to turn the chin over to the right shoulder. So really slowly, tiny movements, all the way until you get to the point where it doesn't feel like there's any more give there, any more turn. Still keeping the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, and then moving your eyes around, looking behind you. Open your eyes wide, a little bit of face yoga here. Maybe smile. Eyes wide, looking around to the side, and a big smile. I don't know about you, but I think I probably look really crazy right now. More so than usual. And then see if you've got a bit more turn and twist. See if those eyes will help you turn your head around. And then when you get to the point where you think, that's it, no more, relax your shoulders, relax your spine, relax your hips. Just check your face, make sure everything is relaxed. Relax your hands. Everything is just happening in the neck here. We don't need to be using any helpers to help push it round further. And then gently release the eyes first, and take off any tension, and then slowly bringing your head back to center. And let's go straight over to the other side. Exactly the same on this side. To get to where you think you're going to go to. Then nice wide eyes and open, looking around behind you. And let that give you a little bit more movement in the neck, a little bit more twist, and relax your shoulders. Try and soften your shoulders. It's really hard to do. Just ease off on any tension in your hands, in your jaw. Still looking around behind you. Nice deep breath here. And then release. Ease off with the eyes, ease off with that hold, and then come back to center. So we're going to take chin up towards the ceiling. We're going to interlace the hands today. So just interlace your fingers. Lift your head up, send your chin up towards the ceiling. And then gently taking your hands to your chin. Give yourself a little bit more stretch by just gently pushing your chin back. Your elbows are up. Your chin is just nestled in your hands. Fingers are interlaced. And you're gently helping that stretch in the throat, in your neck. And release your hands. Keep your head where it is. Bring your hands down to your knees. Let your head drop back. Think about your spine here. If you're exaggerating the curves, straighten a little. If you're fine, stay where you are. And then send your chin up towards the ceiling. So different movements. We're not pushing the chin. We're using the muscles to stretch. As if you're trying to get those front two bottom teeth onto the ceiling. Nice big stretch. And then release. And very slowly coming back to center. How heavy does your head feel? Mine feels like a bowling ball. And then dropping your chin once more to your chest. And then bringing that curl into the whole of your spine, allowing your forehead to drop down, crown of your head to curl round. So crown of your head pointing down towards the floor. Using your arms for gentle support on your legs or on the floor. And curling round, curling, curling, curling. So we're stretching beyond those muscles in the neck. We want to also get to the muscles in the chest, which is what we were just doing when we were looking up into the tops of the shoulders and then into your upper back and even into the mid back. I don't know about you, but I can feel this into my mid back. And then gently coming back up. Well done. A really deep, slow start. But the more you practice, I think the more you realize that it's not the big movements that necessarily have the power. They're obviously more dramatic. So let's stretch your arms out. Give them a big stretch, reach out from side to side. And so the big movements are more visually pleasing perhaps, but those little movements are so powerful. And we're going to stay out here, reaching as far as you can. So I want you to feel like you're stretching your elbows, stretching in your wrists, stretching out under your arms. Try not to raise your shoulders. And then we're going to take the right hand forward and the left hand back. So a nice big twist. Keeping your legs still, keeping your head in line. So we're not looking around behind, we're just coming as far around as you can with the arms. So we're aiming to get that right hand pointing forwards and the left arm pointing backwards. And then bring that twist up into the neck and look round. You might even be able to see the fingers of your left hand. Keeping the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, no slumping here. And release your head first. And then let's windmill gently around. This can be quite strong on the ribs, so just notice what's working for you. Go to where works. And then right arm back, left arm forwards, crown of the head lifted up, and then chin over to the right shoulder, looking around. Do you notice that one side is much easier than the other? Are they both the same? This is where old injuries that you might not notice in your everyday life, that's where you get your little reminders of, that was, I don't have as much mobility this side, or I didn't have as much mobility the other side. You can figure out, do your mystery work and figure out why. And release. Coming back to center. Well done. Take your arms up, lifting up, and then folding forward, taking your hands out in front of you. Take them down to the ground. Drop your head. Catch your breath here. And you might be the right way around. I'm not, so I'm going to change my position. But we're going to come up onto knees here. So bringing yourself forward, keeping your knees kind of where they are, and bringing yourself forward into a tabletop position with gently crossed legs. Stepping your feet back now, coming into a plank. So we want to stretch the Achilles out. We've done a lot on neck and shoulders and arms. Push back and get that sensation in your Achilles, in your soleus, the backs of your calves, that they're having a very good stretch. Push the floor away, shoulders are nice and broad. Bring your belly button towards your spine, drop your bottom down a little, squeeze your glutes, and keep pushing back on those heels. And then release off the heels, gently bring yourself forwards, and then backwards. So we're going to rock backwards and forwards a few times. Go at your own pace. Let's see if we can do 3. And that's my 3 done. Send your hips up towards the ceiling, bringing yourself into downward facing dog. So our lovely down dog here gives you a chance to relax and enjoy our first inversion for today. So just settle comfortably in your down dog, and then we'll start to work on alignment and posture. So pushing your hands into the floor, sending your hips up towards the ceiling. So when you curl your sit bones up towards the ceiling, you lengthen through the backs of the legs, and you stretch all the way from your wrists to your hip bones, getting a nice line all the way, your arms and your back and your hips in line. Head and neck completely at rest here. Are you pushing down into the pads of your feet? Can you release off a little? And breathe. Shoulders are wide. Well done. And then we're going to walk the hands forward and the feet. No, hands back and the feet forwards. We'd be lying flat on the floor if we did it the other way around. Into our nice, easy forward bend. Taking the legs a little further apart, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. So hands either on your legs or on the floor, whatever works best for you. A little bit of a bend in the knees, so try not to lock your legs. Send your sit bones up towards the ceiling here as well. Take your toes a little further out than the heels, just a tiny bit. I want to get a nice big fold in the hips and a big stretch in the thighs. So let's take the hips from side to side now. So bring your left hip down and then your right. So very small movement. You might want to bring in a little bit of a bend. So we're going to come over to taking the left hip down towards the ground, a little bit of a bend in the right knee. And then moving over to the other side, a little bit of a bend in the left knee, taking that right hip closer towards the ground, only by a few millimeters or centimeters, not a big movement, but you'll feel that all the way down the inside of your leg. And then coming over, taking the left hip down, bending the right knee. Just a small bend. And then looking forward, we're going to come into a bit of an exaggerated version of that. So we're coming all the way down now, bringing the left hip down towards your left ankle. All right. So left hip very close to the left ankle, right foot out. Take your toes up towards the ceiling. So heel is down, heel is supported on the ground. Toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, and you're bringing this leg down towards the ground as close as possible. We're in a nice little squat on the left side. Right side's having a stretch. So we've got that compression here, and we've got the opening up here. So right side opening up, left side compressed. And then we're going to slowly make our way over to the other side. So bring your foot down to the floor first, and then lift and walk over before bringing the left toes up towards the ceiling, left leg down towards the ground now. And now we've got that compression in the right side. Notice your left hip, relax, see if you're holding on there, see if you can let go. You've got your hands supporting you, you've got both feet on the ground. Hopefully you should be fine. You might be slightly tilted over to feel a little safer, whatever works for you. We're just working on this opening up, really working into the hips, nice deep movement into the hips. And then slowly over to the other side again. So crawling over, hand walking over, and then again bringing that foot up towards the ceiling. Softening through that right knee. And then once more over to the other side. It's quite strong strong on the knees, isn't it, as well as the hips. So really push those toes up towards the ceiling. Little plantar flexion there. And then coming back to center. So back to center, and we're coming up into goddess. So no hanging about. Gosh, there's black cushions behind me. Make me look like I've got, look at that. I think I've got a massive bum. That's very cool. So in our goddess pose, elbows up, hands pointing up towards the ceiling, or fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. And can you sink a little lower? Belly button to spine, and a little bit of a glide from side to side, if that works for you. And then slowly climbing your way back up, straightening the legs. Keeping that nice movement going, bending and straightening. So bending one knee, straightening the other leg. Arms are still up. Chest is forward, sternum is lifted, and slowly coming back to center. Folding forward, taking your hands to your lower back, gently popping your hands on your lower back. Let them have a little rest and drop your head. Head and neck completely at rest here. A little bit of a lift in the knees, so not locking your legs. And breathe in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. Taking your hands down to the mat now, we're going to come back into our plank, so give yourself space. So looking at your toes, we're pushing back again, so exactly what we did just a moment ago when we were in plank. Stretching through the Achilles, and then bring your head up so that it's in line. Sink your hips a little, fingers are spread out, and push your knuckles down, the inner edge of your knuckles into the mat, and your fingers into the mat. Belly button towards your spine. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze the muscles in your thighs. Shoulders are wide. Well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're bringing the right foot here towards the left hand. We're coming into pigeon. So right foot, left hand, right knee, right hand. And then we're sliding back. If this feels really strong on your knee at any point, change the angle. Bring your foot further in so that you're not stretching too much in the knee. If you can take your foot further out, go ahead and take your foot further out. But there's no point stressing the knee. We don't want that. We're looking for nice big stretch in the hips here. And we're staying up. So bring your hands closer in. We're not looking to make this a deep back bend, but we do want to use this upright posture to drop down into the hips a little further. If you need a support underneath your right thigh, put something under there, a little cushion or even a book. Nice big thick book. And then send your sternum forward. Shoulders are wide. Relax your right foot. If it helps, if you've got a sensitive knee, you can point the toes and dorsiflex the foot. Otherwise, you're looking for plantar flexion, so you're looking to stretch and flex the bottom of the foot. Let's move down. So we're going to bend the elbows, slowly lowering down towards the ground, making space, bringing your hands forward into a triangle. So your left hand just tucked around your right fist, leaning into your elbows, but keeping your shoulders wide. Relax your right foot and try to relax your right thigh. Breathe. Take yourself back to the beginning where we were talking about, I think I was doing the talking, that internal voice. And when we do these really challenging postures, it's very easy to go into the comparison between what I once could do, what I can do today. Try to think about the future and think about looking back on yourself today in 20 years' time and being really proud of what you could do and the fact that you were trying, that you took the time, and maybe very grateful that you did that too. Taking attention to your right hip, that really lovely big stretch. All those gluteus muscles. All getting a decent wake-up call here. And then taking your hands to the mat. Again, fingers lovely and wide. Not so wide that you feel like you're putting a strain on them, but just nice big wide hands. Stretch up through your elbows and tuck the back foot down. So we're going to put the toes under on the left leg, lift the left leg off the mat, and then we're sliding the right back to join the left. Bring yourself into that plank and let's hold here for a moment. Notice the sensation around your right hip. Does it feel cold? Does it feel warm? See if you can drop your hips a little. Let's come into an upward facing dog. So maybe walk forward a little, bring your chest through your arms. You might have to take your arms a little further away if they're not far enough away. Squeeze your glutes and send your sternum forward. So we've got a nice big opening there on the right side. Nice little hanging cobra or up dog variation. And breathe, and then send yourself back into downward facing dog. Hips up, heels down, shoulders wide. neck and head, soft, relaxed. And then looking forward, coming back into that lovely plank. We've been doing quite a lot of plank today, haven't we? And then taking your left foot forward, left knee towards your left hand, and sliding that right leg back, coming into pigeon on the other side. So take a moment to notice how this is different, how it's the same, and whether you need any props, whether you need something under that right thigh. Check in with your knee. Notice if it's feeling comfortable, whether you need to adjust the angle of your lower leg. We're sitting up, but it's not a back bend, so I don't really want you to be curling in the back. Trying to keep the spine long and straight. Dropping that right hip down towards the ground. And take your focus to your breath for a moment. Nice, deep, slow in and out. And then let's fold forward together, exactly how you did this on the other side. This time making a fist with your left hand, gently popping your right hand around your left hand. Strong in your shoulders, nice and wide. And see if you can let go of any tension in the muscles in your left hip. See if you've got space to drop the right hip down a little closer to the ground. Maybe close your eyes here and really focus on what's going on in your body. Focus on where the challenges are, where it feels easy. Focus on the sensations and send your breath to the places that feel tight and like they're holding on. And while we're here in this little quiet moment, you might like to set an intention for yourself for the rest of your day. What is it that you need or want more of in your life? Hopefully you're starting to notice a softening in the muscles around your right hip and easing. And then let's look forward, bringing yourself back up. Remember those hands. Lovely connection with the floor. Just looking at your hands, making sure that they are in line with each other. And then tucking your right toes under, straightening that right leg, taking that strength into the leg before gently sliding the left leg back to join, coming into a plank and giving yourself a moment to notice the sensations in your hips, around your groin, in your glutes, in your lower back, before taking your knees to the mat and sending yourself back into Balasana. So nice, really big stretch back. Take your hips to your heels and then lift your chin, lift your chest, and slowly lay your torso down on your thighs, bringing your forehead down towards the mat. So we've got some more nice compression in the hips here. So we're going to stretch both hips together now, coming up into Ustrasana. So lifting up, coming all the way up. So we're coming up into Ustrasana. So take yourself into a kneeling posture. You might like to make a little space between your knees. And if you need a little bit of extra padding, just fold your mat so that you've got a double bit, or grab a blanket or something. Just make sure that both of your knees have the same amount of padding underneath them. Don't have one higher than the other. So feet out behind you, that's your stability, that's your base. Take your hands to your lower back, fingertips pointing down, and we're just going to pivot backwards. So we're breaking up those thighs. This is why you need that padding under the knees. Gently backwards and forwards. Head, neck, and back in line. We're not doing our back bend just yet. Just working on that strength of the thighs. And backwards and forwards. This always reminds me of a deck chair. Next time you come back, stay back. And then come back up. So we're going to tuck the toes now. So tuck your toes under, heels nice and high. The higher the better, because then you can grab them. I'm going to just fold my mat because this floor is super hard. So Ustrasana, if you love Ustrasana and it's an easy one for you, take yourself into your Ustrasana. If you'd like to do it a little slower, and you can come with me, hands on the lower back again, fingertips pointing down, leaning back, and then releasing your left hand and your right hand, and hopefully finding those heels. If not, just come on to doing one side and then the other. Now send your hips forward, so we get that nice little arc in the lower back. And if you're comfortable, you can allow your back of your head to come to the top of your back. And breathe. If you're on one side, now it's time to switch to the other side. Otherwise, stay here. If this feels a little easy and you're okay with it, you can straighten out your feet. And to come out, lift your head at the same time. Take your left hand to your lower back, leaning into the right arm, and then curling around, bringing both hands to your lower back again, and folding down into Balasana. So this time, Balasana, stretching your arms out and reaching your forehead forward. Take your knees a little wider. Let your torso come down between your knees. Another little stretch for the hips. Bringing your chest down to touch the ground or towards the ground. Softening through your shoulders. Taking your shoulder blades away from each other as you take your sternum down towards the ground in front of you. Or below you, I guess is a bit more accurate there. And then slowly coming up. We're coming back into that plank again, I'm afraid. This is a great class for you if plank is your favorite posture. So coming into plank, and then we're coming into low arm plank. So take your forearms to the floor, fists or hands together, elbows out, elbows under your shoulders, and then bring your right hand towards your left elbow and turn yourself into a low side plank. So low side plank, and then we're going to take that hand up and over so that your arm Your torso and your legs are all in line. Try not to let your head drop to the side. Lift those hips. Stack your feet if it works for you. Otherwise, have them one in front of the other to give yourself a nice broad base for balance. And then bringing that forearm down. Line it up with the other forearm. And then we'll go on to the other side. So lifting up with that right arm and then taking it overhead. Think about pushing your forearm and your elbow into the floor, lifting yourself away. Reach with that right arm. Belly button to spine, squeeze your glutes. Really good for the hips. And then coming around, bringing that forearm back. Take your knees and your belly to the mat. Bring your forearms forward, and look at that, we're in Makara. How convenient. So rest your forehead. On that forearm pillow. And breathe. Let your feet drop out to the sides. Nice big deep breaths, even if you feel that you have to take them into the sides of the body, into the back, to the lower back. And then bringing yourself up. Let's go via cobra. So pressing the tops of your feet into the floor, hands either side of your chest, squeezing from your feet like a wave, all those muscles engaging to bring yourself up. Looking forward. Elbows pointing back. And then pushing the floor away with your hands. Coming up into a strong back bend, or strong as works for you. Squeeze your glutes and relax your glutes. And then squeeze. Tuck your toes. Straighten and bring yourself into downward facing dog. Walking your feet forwards. Just pause for one round of breath in down dog. Find your perfect posture. And then walking your feet forwards. Bringing your hands back. Coming into a squat. So nice, easy, comfortable squat. Let me turn around, face you. Let's just stay here for a moment. Again, that lovely compression in the hips, that releasing across the lower back, all those good things. And at the same time, we've got that nice compression into the torso, into the internal organs, a nice massage there. So bringing the soles of your feet together, now going to bring yourself into Baddha Konasana. So sitting back, down, soles of the feet together. And hopefully you feel that your hips are beautifully open, strong, flexible, and all the bones are well fed. Think about the circulation that we've increased to that area, the body awareness of the need, because you're using it, the body will go, right, well, we use that bit of the body, we've got to devote some time and attention to it. So a nice, fully functioning hips is what we're looking for. Fully functioning everything, but hips and neck today. So neck again, taking your chin to your chest. Let's intensify the stretch and give ourselves a little stretch in the neck too, bringing chin to chest and curling round. So really slow curl round. Feel like you're taking the crown of your head down towards your toes. Let's all still be doing this in 20 years' time, but in 20 years' time, let's have the crown of the head actually on the toes. What do you reckon? And gently uncurling. Lovely deep neck stretch there. Bringing your knees together, bringing yourself so that you can lie back down on the mat. Coming into a little bit of a balance here. Such a nice balance, this. So finding your balance, finding that perfect spot, and then let's release the legs, take the arms out wide, lift your chest, head and neck and back in line. Well done. And then however you would like to come down to lying on your mat. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a big hug and a little bit of a roll from side to side, pressing your hips into the floor, pressing all those little bits of the body that have been working so hard, doing some good stretching and good holding. Then take your legs a little away from each other. So you've got your right hand wrapped around your right knee and your left hand wrapped around your left knee. And then gently bringing your legs either side of your torso, eyes very close to you. So like a little very low, happy baby. Bring your feet together. Release holding onto your knees and find your feet. Wrap your hands around your feet or hold on to your ankles or your shins and gently draw your feet in towards you. Knees are out to the side. So pulling your feet, pulling your legs closer towards you. Nice strong arms. And release. Bringing your feet together, bring your knees together, take your arms out. Let's come into that lovely side twist. We haven't done a lot of twisting today, so knees over to one side. Excuse me. And head over to the other side. So take your gaze over to the opposite side. So we did a lot of work on spine last week. This week we've been hippie hips. And then gently bring your head back, knees just brushing against your torso as we go straight over to the other side. Nice, slow, gentle movement. And when your legs are settled, moving your head over to the right. And then gently bringing your knees back. Oh, head back first, then knees. Forgot about the head there. Wrap your arms around and give yourself a hug. Close your eyes. And release. Taking your legs out. Taking your arms to the side, bringing yourself into Shavasana. And allowing yourself to be completely at rest and at ease. Find your comfortable space here and bring yourself back to your sankalpa, to your intention if you set one. And take a deep breath in. So we want to be breathing in through the nostrils. Your eyes are closed. Breathing in through your nostrils and noticing how that air feels. Noticing every little step of that journey, that passage of air into your nostrils, around the sides, inside, in the back of your nose, back of your throat, down into your lungs. Follow the breath with your attention. And with the exhale, breathing out through your mouth. So inhale through the nostrils. Again, noticing the passage of air. And then exhaling, softening all the muscles in your body, letting go. With the exhale, relax. Soften, slow down. With the inhale, being observant to the body, noticing how you feel, taking your attention around and allowing every single bit of you to completely relax. With every inhale, filling up with light and warmth and your sankalpa. With every out breath, letting go, making space, practicing deep acceptance. Inhaling and exhaling at your pace. As you relax and let go of any tension in the body. Taking a deep breath in now, right down towards your hips, to your knees, to your ankles, to your toes, down your arms into your fingertips, to the whole of the back of your body. As you exhale, feeling lighter, feeling free, feeling a sense of deep contentment. Gently congratulating yourself, thanking yourself for bringing yourself to join your mind, body, and spirit together, whilst becoming stronger and more flexible. When you're ready, keeping that space, keeping that deep calm, gently coming to lie on your right side, curling round on your right, noticing your heartbeat, noticing your breath, noticing that your body feels free and open, with endless possibilities to do whatever it is you want to do. And then gently coming up to sitting, either in Sukhasana or any way that suits you. Bringing your hands to heart center. And noticing how your right hand feels, noticing how your left hand feels. Gently dropping your head. Last little stretch in the neck. Taking a deep inhale. As you exhale, gently opening your eyes. Feeling deeply connected with yourself. As you inhale, gently raising your head. And namaste. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining you on the mat. Mind, body, and soul. Beautifully together.